So there we go. Chicago's basically your hometown. It's amazing. Great. There we go. There we go. There, no, a little less. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want too much light because it comes down in vertical strikes. It's too much.
Too much?
Yeah. Go down a little bit more. Even more. Give it a shot. Yeah, a little bit more than that. Okay, now let's put this here. There. There we go. Yes. Looks like we're in outer space. Yes, let's turn that off on this. All right.
It looked like we're in outer space.
Yes.
Does this lighting make you look fat?
It does. The lighting does make you look fat. It gets brighter as it goes. It gets a little brighter.
Cool.
If we pull up a chair, if you sit here, it'll get brighter. Okay. There it is. See, it's getting brighter.
Oh, yeah.
So it adjusts. Here we are in the Planetarium Studios, folks. Cloudchord right here. Here we go. What's up? All right, so we're on the AMA, but we can't hear anybody, huh?
We can hear your souls.
Okay.
I'm going to log on too so I can see the comments flying by.
Yeah, let's. So we have the live chat. All right, folks. Let's start with Cortelli. Can you remix Fever? No. I don't know. I got to listen to a version. Send me a link to a good Fever, and I don't want to go look for it. I know it'll only take me 2 seconds, but if you send me a link to a really good Fever, I will listen to it. And if it's dope, then yeah, we'll remix it. Sure. Who will win the Super Bowl this year? The Eagles will win. It will be a very, very close contest. I think potentially it seems like, I don't know who's going to get in from the American division, but the Eagles will beat them in a low scoring game. Why did you stop playing Songs of Joy? College football playoff. I don't want to talk about. Let me do Songs of Joy. Why did we stop playing Songs of Joy? Have you ever heard that song?
I don't know if I have.
Why did we stop playing Songs of Joy? Was supposed to be like the overture of a rock opera I was writing at the time, and then I lost the computer with all the music on it and all the story docs on it. It was stolen out of my car. Somebody popped the window of my car and took my bag with all my computer in it, and everything was on that computer, and I didn't back anything up. And every single musician has a story of when they lost their computer and didn't back everything up, and that's mine. And Songs of Joy was the overture of that rock opera, if you will, which was like 70% done when they stole everything. It was kind of a bummer.
I did that once.
You did?
I deleted a whole DVS album by mistake.
Really?
It was already out, so it was okay. Before I was Cloudchord, I was DVS. And one day I was cleaning up my drives, and I was like, yeah, I don't need this on this drive, but thinking it was somewhere else. And the album's gone forever.
Gross, folks.
I'll never do that again.
Gross. Yeah, I back everything up aggressively now. We have 5 backups of the new album, which we are finishing. We finished it creatively last week. If you guys come to the Chicago shows, you will see the new songs that round out the space opera, which you're all probably aware of at this point. I think we don't really have a working title for it. I think Revolution in Motion is what we've been calling it. And To Be Continued, which we played in Atlanta the other day, is one of those things, and that kind of thing. All right, so what's next? What other questions should we do? Are there questions on this thing? Isn't there like a question? if there's no questions.
Somebody wanted to know how you guys started.
Oh, here they are.
There's a bunch of them.
Okay, on the new single, this is CJ1145. On the new single, writing the actual song or dialing the productive song experience, what was more rewarding? They all sound great, by the way. Thank you. So the new single, Another Planet of Attack. Why don't you answer that? What was more, writing the song or dialing in the production?
Well, since I dabbled in the production and I didn't write the song.
Yeah. So you would say writing the song.
Usually, like on songs like that, the last 5% of the song takes 80% of the time.
Yeah,
it does. Like that song was pretty much done for like 3 weeks.
Yes.
But it was like, oh, and this, oh, and this, oh, and this.
Mm-hmm.
And we had everybody had signed off on it, and I heard a couple more things.
That's right. Yeah. We were all ready to release it. That's why Cloudchord's amazing. He goes the extra mile. I think writing Another Plan of Attack was really interesting because it was such a weird song, and the whole time we were writing it, I was just like, you can't. This can't be a song. You can't say Another Plan of Attack over and over again. That's not a lyric. But it was so cool and melodic and catchy and stuff. And I just kind of like it was like one of those songs where you write it and it turns into this whole thing. It's the best chorus in the live show right now is we're gonna take you where you wanna go,
right.
And it's cool to see such good things happen out of a song which was way out of the comfort zone for us while we were writing it.
Have you guys thought about making an edit of No Plan of Attack that says Amtrak, we're gonna get you where you want to go, and selling it to Amtrak trains? Amtrak.
We're gonna get you where. I mean, why would they not want to? I think our fans. Would you guys be mad if we did that? Because we don't care. We don't care.
Where are you going to see tonight? Oh, that Amtrak band.
Yeah, the band that wrote the Amtrak theme song. Man, if only they would say that about us. All right, Dylan Kirk, what inspired the space opera tunes? Backstage, a really fun, awesome backstage hang. Joey, the full band in New Hampshire during the pandemic. We were backstage. We were playing this like hill in New Hampshire. Everybody was feeling good. We like flew in and flew out. It was like kind of fun. And we just kind of cooked the whole thing up. We came up with that they don't have hands. They have electrical connections. And suddenly we were like, oh, this is like it's a cool envisionment of an alien species in a race and stuff like that. And we want to run with that because that'll be fun. And it turned in all these great songs. Dynamite asks, are the 2019 songs complete or are they going to be built out further, add lyrics? Anthem, I would like to turn it into a larger song. Running Away into the Night, we have a version of that song that's different. It's like kind of like Techno I'm In is to original I'm In, if you will. Free But Slinky is getting lyrics. It has lyrics, but I want to make them better. Stars in the Sky is always a work in the progress because I kind of going to roll it back to what it was originally. So yeah, everything in the 2019 list is getting remade, it feels like. Kevin Turlep says in 2019-2021 Tractor Beam, you were using a time sequence arpeggiator, right? Has that evolved into what we're hearing in the space opera songs? 9/8 Times Square. I do have an arpeggiator, but different. That was a MIDI arpeggiator in Tractor Beam. Because in Tractor Beam, I take the guitar, I convert it to MIDI, and then I play Playa House synths with it. And I have MIDI effects, like octave up, down. Some of them I've built custom for myself with guys who know how to program that kind of stuff. And some of them are just like other synthy effects. The arpeggiator on 9/18 Times Square is an audio. It's like a guitar pedal. So I paired my guitar setup back to a guitar, but then I added in some arpeggiators and stuff. Are we ever going to do Tractor Beam type of guitar again? Because I really like that. Hopefully us. Scott Wright, what is a fuzzy? I think that's a good question. A fuzzy, River and I came up with that. idea of singing it together because it was like making him laugh. I think the fans kind of figured that out already. But then Joey figured out what a fuzzy is. So Joey attached the concept of fuzzy and put it in the lyrics of the space opera. So I'll let Joey tell you that story. Dan Hobbs, which of the new songs are autobiographical? A lot. I think almost all of them. Jared Turner, how do you guys come up with playing inverted songs? A lot of times it's because we wanted to do the jam, right? Do you do inverted songs in Cloudchord?
Kinda, but it's a little more work.
What? Because you have to set it up beforehand.
Yeah, I got to set it up beforehand.
Right. Okay.
John and I were actually talking at breakfast. A live Cloudchord show is kind of more like a movie than a band in some ways.
Right. Yeah.
It's like so like, or it feels like an Olympic routine. Like I gotta hit all my moves.
Yeah. Where the Biscuits, we would never be allowed in the Olympics. Frankly, they would never allow us
unless it was the jam band Olympics.
Yeah, we're not allowed in that either. And we definitely not allowed in the jam band Olympics. That's for sure. Stephen D. Julio, was there a reason you didn't have a stage amp in Frisco? Riding the rail, your guitar sound was coming from behind. The stage amp was just under the stage. Sometimes they do that because it's loud. Roy G, what is your favorite of the new songs to play live? Changes every week, but right now I think it's Taurus. DS Stephen 1. When will you come back to the PNW? I think 2023, definitely doing a full West Coast tour. Nice. Early 2023, but I don't know when. But soon, right away. Reba Fluff, how do you stay positive?
You hang out with me.
I hang out with him. I mean, look, staying positive is the single most important thing you can do in life. I think that's probably accurate.
Right.
Don't you think so?
Right.
Because go ahead.
I think being a father really helps that.
Oh yeah. My kid is a little ball of positive energy for sure. Your kid as well?
Same.
Yeah.
Like, because you're thinking about like the music industry and like your head is about to explode. Then your kid walks in the room and is like, "Dad, let's go outside and play." It's like reset. Simple.
Like I'll give you an example. Like when you look back at something and say, I was so dumb to think about something that way. What is that 99% of the time? 99% of the time it's you thinking of something negatively when you could have seen a positive side to it. And like that's the thing to remember if you're in the negative self-talk world, and like as a musician it's so easy to go there. You have to eat a gummy. That works for me. Cowboy Angel, what's the last band DJ you've seen live? I saw Octave Cat the other night at the Brooklyn Bowl in Philly. What about you?
Last band I saw live, I think, was you guys in Atlanta.
Oh, in Atlanta. Yeah. I saw Cloudchord in Atlanta. We did a show together. Kevin Turlep again. Who are the protagonists of the space opera? Humans or aliens? That's a great question. I mean, definitely aliens. There's more alien characters than there are human characters. There's a couple human characters. There's the band, so the 4 members of the band, and there's the Bellevue Wrecking Crew of NYC, which is a loose assortment of pickpockets. And there's no other humans. Everyone else, the Queen, the Sun, the crew has your back. All the guys on the crew, the scientists, the alien that's in New York that's singing Taurus. Taurus is sung by an alien that's in Manhattan collecting humans that have been frozen by the freeze. And he sings Taurus because he doesn't want to live in a world that's frozen. And he's thinking in the back of his mind that, these guys on the ship, they don't like me so much. They might cut my lifeline and leave me here in New York with these humans stuck in this world that's permanently frozen, as like because he thinks he screwed up a little bit and might be in the doghouse. All right, let's get a new question. Great question. Boopatron 42. What has been your favorite show played in 2022? It's tough. I really like The Man in Philly. We played a lot of new songs. The Who's in Charge was huge. I really liked Atlanta this past weekend. So let's just call it those. John Vantine, who won't send me a playlist of the Disco Biscuit jams that he runs to. He won't send them to me.
Send them.
He won't. I've asked 6 times. He won't do it. He's like, yo, I have this great playlist of Biscuit songs that I run to. And I say, great, send it to me. And he has yet to do so. Will y'all continue to look back to legendary jams from the past as inspiration for new compositions? It's been awesome so far. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Do you know we're doing that when we do that?
Doing what?
Well, we're taking bits of great Biscuit jams from the past, like right?
Yeah.
And then we're using them as sections of the new songs.
The reason why I know
is
because there's always a track at the top of the session that has the soundboard from that. And so I'll unmute the track and be like, oh, this is where it came from.
Yeah. So I pick it out of Rich Steele sends me the jam, and then I put it in the thing. And then I cut it up, and then I leave it there. And I guess he figured that out. Can't get anything by Cloudchord. All right, next question. Cocoa Puff. I'm a pedal minimalist. So am I. I have left my DS1 distortion and my Crybaby Y. If you wanted to add one more pedal to that, keeping it as basically possible, what pedal would it be? It would be the Helix, the Line 6 Helix that I use. I would, and they don't pay me to say that. I would just use that if I were you. They should pay me to say that, but this is the first time I've ever said it. So there you go. I would add that pedal, and I would throw away your DS1. Keep the Crybaby.
Keep the Crybaby.
Keep the Crybaby. Or keep the DS1 if you like it, but honestly, you need the Crybaby with the Helix because their wah pedal's too stiff. You need a waka waka. But everything's in the Helix, and it sounds great. It's so easy. It's for pedal minimalists. It's literally one pedal, and then you need a guitar tech that knows how to use it, so you can change it all the time. Brian Fitzpatrick, for a live set, do you just roughly plan out X number of minutes per song to stay on track time-wise, and just let the set transition as it will? I don't know. I don't have a clock. Mark writes the set list. I don't comment on the set list. I show up on stage, and we've discussed generally things that need to be discussed because there are harder transitions and there are easier transitions. The Disco Biscuits as a band have never been that great at like doing stuff on purpose. We're better to just let it fly. So there's very little concern for this being 10 minutes and that being 10 minutes. We'd probably be a better band if we did, but we don't. Captain Chewbacca, have ear. Will you ever do a rig rundown? I could do a rig rundown. I'll do one for you. Everybody asks me. I just like my rig isn't. I don't know. Does anyone care about my rig? I don't know. I guess you do. I don't have my rig in my house, so I'd have to do that on stage. I will do that for you, though, for sure. It'll only take me a minute. Rich Steele. Look at Rich
Steele in the house.
What made you guys start incorporating classical-based key modulation into the way you segue in and out of songs? And what was the biggest influence for that? Well, it's a good question. I mean, look, when the Biscuits started, I was really, really into Debussy. Just really into. I listened to him all day. I fell asleep to him. And so and then I would like do biscuity stuff along those lines. So I think a lot of it came from that. But why do we do we do all sorts of different kinds of chord progressions to change keys. And we have some new stuff that we do recently, which is kind of not jazz and it's not classical. It's kind of something that we just kind of figured out in Harrisburg. So if you listen to the Harrisburg key changes, they're all super smooth because we did this thing that now we have that's like a biscuit way to do it, which we feel really good about. All right, Roy G. Why was Gonna Get You Where You Want to Go removed from the studio attack? It wasn't, was it? No. I don't know what you're talking about. We're gonna get. You have to listen to the whole song, Roy. You gotta listen to the whole song. I know it's longer than 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I know it's hard. I mean, look, just pretend it's 2 songs, okay? Taylor Smith. What have you been listening to? I listened to Cloudchord's new song, which came out today with Dominic Lally from Big Gigantic. That's I really enjoyed that song. It's sexy, it's beautiful, and Dom's sax solo that Derek plays with him note for note is fire.
It's a great sax solo.
Fire. All right. What's the best post-show meal? What do you think?
Well,
Worst one is pizza by far.
I think the best pre-show meal is sushi for my body, because it's light and it's filling. It's, you know what I mean? It's like some fuel to rock, but you're not going to be tired on stage. Right?
Sushi. I do like sushi before the show.
After the show, though,
I do.
You can eat a little bit heavier because you're all satisfied. Yeah.
Honestly, I think the best thing after the show is like sliced apricots.
Really?
Just a pile of them. Just like so over the top. What is your favorite genre of EDM? Playa trance, no question. How did Joey get involved with the space opera? Asked Sean Murtaugh. We cooked it up together. We cooked the idea up together. I was complaining that I needed a story to write because I had a lot of music sitting around and I couldn't possibly have that many things to talk about, and I needed like a plot to get into. And then we had this hilarious set of jokes that went on for 2 hours, and then we called each other the next day and we're like, that was funny, and he was like, what did you think about the aliens with no hands? And then we cooked that into the story. Okay, Poppy Main says, when are you going to let Alex Doob do a sit-in with you?
Who's Alex Doob?
I don't know. Is that Drake's new show business name?
Tell Alex to submit his resume. Management.
Yeah.
Send your resume.
You should make a short. You should send a headshot. One of the signed headshots you get in diners. To our management.
Like who you're represented by at the bottom.
Yeah, with a little like wearing a suit. It's kind of black and white.
Right.
One of those. Yeah, tell Alex. Can't wait to see that. Boots O'Reilly. Hey, Barbara, I heard rumors that you've taken vocal lessons in early 2017. Yeah, I've taken vocal lessons many times over the years. It's hard to get a vocal teacher that wants to work with someone who sings as poorly as I do. I mean, let's be honest. No, I mean, vocal lessons are, I think in 2017, I was singing Leon Bridges' album from front to back, his first album, every day. So if I sang really well, is because I was just singing. I was just doing a lot of singing, and I was just doing that. I think I had some lessons mixed in there too, but the me. That shit's not for me. All right, John Van Tyne again. Story sounds cool. It could work well as a graphic novel. Have you considered that? Yeah, we need $100,000 to make the graphic novel. That's what we were told. We need $100,000. So if you guys want to put together a little fundraiser for $100,000, let's do that. Marcus Briggs, should I start Hertz or Tua this weekend? Fancy football. Who has time for that? David Leflar, any chance Space Taxi can be released as a children's album?
Wow.
Maybe even with vocals from River? Maybe your daughter and River and Magner's kids and Mark's kids and Alan's kid could all get together and sing the space opera songs.
And that is how we will find true success.
Oh my God, we'll make so much money if we do that. Move over Coco Melon.
Right. But then like all the kids get involved in splits, and then there's big drama, and then we all break up.
All the kids get separate managers from their parents. Everybody's fighting all the time through managers. You're like in the kitchen with your kid, like, would you like some food for eating, River? And River's like, yeah, I need some food. And then they walk out of the room and you get on the phone with your managers and you're like, yo, tell River no. Tell River there's no way he gets splits on this album. Oh man. Can't wait for that. Thanks for that great suggestion. Really great suggestion. Great Quux. Please release 3 extra studio albums next year with all the songs you haven't recorded yet. Thanks. Okay, so obviously the space opera, tentatively called Revolution in Motion. Let me know if you hate that or love that. That's a studio album. That'll be released in April next year.
Yeah.
Then we got to get one more out by November. December would be 2. And what is this 3rd studio album? What is it? Tell me what it is. Is it me and Cloudchord? Is it Biscuits doing collabs? Is it Biscuits doing collabs? Is it Biscuits remaking old Biscuit albums? Is it Is it just straight up? You want me to write 3 full-on studio albums in 1 year? The Space Opera I wrote this year, and that's really 2 studio albums, honestly. It's 2 vinyls. Like if we put it out on vinyl, it's going to be at least 2 records. Yeah, 2 double albums. So
somebody, a Meagle, asked about my guitar.
Oh yeah, let's talk about
this.
this.
In Atlanta.
Look at this bad boy.
This is D'Angelico. Company's been around since the 40s, maybe even 30s, pre-pickups. I got to play D'Angelico number 1.
What?
Number 1. It's in the showroom in Midtown Manhattan.
So, wow.
So the funny story about this is it has a whammy bar, and I have a Gibson 335 that has a Bigsby. So I wanted this color, but I didn't want a Bigsby because I was like, Bigsby sucked for the road. I just wanted
they got a tune,
right? So I ordered the red version of this because it didn't have the whammy bar. And they sent me this one by mistake.
Love it.
And I pulled it out, and my wife and daughter were like, whoa, that is a beautiful guitar. And D'Angelico was like, well, sorry, we'll comp the shipping.
I'll send you a crappy one.
Yeah, and he's like, just play it for the weekend, see if you like it. And it actually stays in tune really well because it has this rolling bridge and locking tuners.
God, locking tuners.
So this is a D'Angelico. It's the nicest looking guitar I own, probably, for sure.
I had a D'Angelico, which was sweet, but I let my buddy borrow it, and his kid started playing it.
Oh, right.
And then I just didn't have the chutzpah to take a child's guitar away from them, so that's his guitar now.
Hey, Horizon Wireless asked what my First Biscuit show is. Do you want to know what my first?
What was your First Biscuit show?
First Biscuit show was, I believe, 2005 or 6, something like that.
Yeah.
You guys played the Tatanka Festival in Boulder at the Reservoir. Do you remember that?
Barely.
It was this little independent festival that only happened once or twice, and it was at the Reservoir out like north of Boulder.
Right.
Yes. That was the first time I ever saw you guys.
That was like pre-Mishawaka. I was like
probably pre-Mishawaka. And funny story, I had met Brownie like a month or 2 earlier on the internet, and we started talking. And I got to tell this today. First time we ever talked, I shook his hand, and he was in the middle of saying something to me, and he walked away while he was saying something.
I love that. While he was
saying something, he walked away. And I was like, I will never forget that.
Ultimate artist move right there.
Right.
So in your own head that you just walk. I've done that like 100. I did that earlier today. There's like so many questions. How do we do this? How do you start working together with Cloudchord? Let's hear it from Cloudchord's perspective, shall we?
Mark called me up in the fall of 2019 and said, Cloudchord, I think you're our guy for this thing. And and because I do a lot of like Ableton music education stuff too, in addition to being a producer. So you guys were bringing Tractor Beam back into the equation on a nightly basis.
Yes.
The idea was every second set you did a Tractor Beam bit.
Right.
So I went up to Frisco, and you guys were doing 2 nights of Tractor Beam. I went to the second night and kind of assessed what was happening, did some cleanup. And you guys brought me onto the team really initially just to help with Tractor Beam.
Right. Interesting.
And I did the 2019 run with you guys at the Best Buy. And helped with that. Helped with like the sidechain compression at the front of the house.
That's right. Yeah, which was huge.
And then COVID happened. You guys were like fixing to have a crazy year in 2020 with all these gigs doing Tractor Beam every night, and then everything changed.
And then everything just disappeared. We lost the whole year.
And as a matter of fact,
the whole year.
When we started working together in the studio is the day after I ordered this.
No way, really?
2 summers ago. Remember, I came here and we all jammed.
Right.
Our first jam in the studio that was like non-Tractor Beam, I came here and I had like 40 house beats that I made to jam with you guys. And all 3 of you just sat around and jammed, and I like DJ'd house beats.
Oh, wow.
And then like we got some tunes out of them. I kind of think that's where maybe some of the Lakeshore Drive M1 ideas came from. I don't know.
Did we record that?
Probably.
Oh, we should find that. That would be crazy.
So then I think the idea was you guys were like, we haven't released music in so long, and you know that you can work with me well because of Tractor Beam.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey, let's start doing this.
That's crazy because like when we started doing a lot of work together, Tractor Beam was like a key piece.
Right. That's all we used to do initially.
Yeah, Tractor Beam was like a really important part of the future that I was seeing for the band, because Tractor Beam puts everybody in like the ability to do what they do, but in like a different world. And then we got you out of that, and now the album and all these other great things. All right, let's see. Will the Mishawaka 4K video recordings ever be released? Yes. Yes. I mean, look, send us a couple messages at Couchdoor TV about how you want it to be released, Mishawaka. How do you want us to release that? Because it's awesome. It's really good. You guys are going to love it. Max Dawson, would love to hear you all talk a little bit about transforming old jams into new songs. So that seems to be a hot topic with you guys. It's just basically one of those things where we've always wanted to do that, and we just never did it, and now we're doing it. We always wanted to do that. It was from way back in the early days. We've always listened to jams. You've heard me on the podcast be like, that should be a song. That should be a song. Well, we're finally actually going through and making songs out of everything. It helps that Joey is an actual fan of the band, so he has similar thoughts about moments of the jamming.
Yeah, he's great like that.
Yeah, he like loves those jams too and thinks they should be songs too. And so he'll come in and be like, wow, we got to make a song out of this shit. So we will. Amanda Dercole says, is Camp Bisco no more? Unsmiley face. And no, we are making moves to make Camp Bisco work. It took a big hit over the pandemic, and we're having like a little bit of a kerfuffle trying to put that thing back together. But I think it's going to be back. I think it's going to be back soon. I don't know about this year. I don't know about 23. We really need like a huge hit single for the Biscuits or something like that. We need the Biscuits to get massively bigger. So tell your friends about the Biscuits so we can start doing stuff like Camp. Is there one song from the past that you still love and would like to play again at some point? I don't think about that. JT's One Crazy Man 20. I don't think about that. I think about new songs all day. New songs.
Here's a good one.
What are new songs?
DJ87, would you consider making stems available for one of the new tunes for fan remix contests? We should absolutely do that. Fan remix.
Do you want that? Do you guys want stems?
We're making them anyways, so.
You want to do fan remix contests?
I think that'd be awesome.
Is that a thing? All right. I'm into that. I'd love to hear that. Hold on a second. Okay. Sorry to spam the QA, but you guys asked about what songs should be on the 3 to 4 albums you could release with studio songs. Here you go. Classics Volume 1. Shimmy, Shemra, Bernstein's, BNC, Crickets, Munchkins, Sven the Robots. Oh, Svengali. Robots and Air Song. Okay. All right. Thank you for that list. I love that list. We will make a classics set of albums, I guess. So why not? I was going to call them like whatever. I was going to like remake an album that we did in the past, like remake Uncivilized Area or something. But I like this idea of doing classic songs. And, Astronaut was never released. There's a lot of songs that were never put out. I don't think Rock Candy was ever put out. Pimp Blue Ricky's was never put out. Svengali was never put out. Shimmy. So, yes, thank you. All right, what else we have as far as questions go? All right. Are we couch touring? We try and couch tour every show. Are we going to couch tour New Year's? I believe we're couch touring New Year's. I believe so. Before you started releasing the new songs, you were jamming them in the shows leading up prior. Was there a specific show you knew they were going to be really magical and do well with the fans? No. In fact, we're very happy that you guys love these new songs. It makes us excited about writing more new songs.
Right.
Yeah, no, we had no idea these songs were going to go over so well. We did not know. I don't think we've really ever when we put out the Hot Air Balloon songs, those songs did not go over well. I mean, I remember I was in a hotel room at a party, and this girl gave me a 2-hour conversation about everything that was wrong with Very Moon, and I was just like sitting there like, why am I here? Why am I listening to this? It's a beautiful song. Get off my back. And then like 6 months later, everybody flipped on Very Moon and fell in love with the song. So I'm used to that. And then this whole like people like it right out the jump thing, I could get used to this. I could get used to this. This is good.
It's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling. Are we going to bring back tractor beam tracks? I think once we're outside of like a regular studio, like our day to day is sitting in the studio either over Zoom or just over text or together at the same time, making these songs for you guys. So it's just been a really, really big, heavy priority. And if that priority ever goes down a little bit, we'll bring back tractor beam because I love tractor beam. I love playing guitar synth. It's so great. And I think I could get a lot better at it, and it would be even better for tractor beam. But it's hard to do that and do 14 hours a day in the studio making these new fat songs.
And play gigs.
And play shows and go to the airport. If we could do like 40 shows in a row in Philadelphia somehow, and I could sleep in my own bed, or like 5 shows a week in Philadelphia, would you guys do that? Could we play Philadelphia 5 shows a week for like 5 weeks? I mean, look, LCD's doing it in Brooklyn, right? Can we do it in Philadelphia 5 weeks? We'll do different shows all the time, and I'll get to sleep in my own bed every night. And that is something that like we would bring Tractor Beam back for.
30 nights at Silk City.
Yeah. I think we would sell that out. I think we would sell that out.
For the underground
garage
or whatever.
Yeah. What guitars do you use on most of the new recordings? I use that guitar on all the new recordings. That thing that's sitting floating in air. I use that Strat on everything on the album. It used to be on stage. And then it used to be on stage, and now it's what it is. Are we good? Any more questions? Anything else going on? You guys love the Boston shows. What is the wormhole about? Do you know that?
I would get it right on a multiple choice, but not an essay.
I mean, the wormhole is the alien prince is flying on his spaceship around the galaxy, going nowhere fast, just like totally doing shocks, doing fuzzies, like rocking out, cruising through the sky. And they just kind of screw up and drive into a wormhole, and it spits them out in the asteroid belt. And then they find Earth right away after that. They look there and they're like, "What? Where are we?" And they boom find Earth, and they go immediately know that there's some something there about that. How are y'all not one of the biggest bands in the world? Says DH. We should be. There's no question. The music is by far the best music being made in the world by any band. And I don't know. I think it's because, like, literally, I thought about it a week ago. 6 months ago, none of these songs were in the conversation. Just 6 months ago. Like, not even 7 months ago. Like, the songs were dropped. What's today's date? The 12th? The 10th?
December 9th.
December 9th. We haven't even debuted the first Space Opera song 6 months ago because we debuted it on the 10th. So I just think that it's going to take a little time for the Biscuits to have all of you share our music with your friends and get everybody excited and get some positive energy and momentum going on so that, we can continue to do this as our job. You know what I mean? The pandemic was tough because it's like we all got fired the day that the pandemic happened. You know what I mean? So it takes a little while to overcome that kind of stuff. And I think it takes a little while for a band to really like get a place with in people's hearts and stuff like that. I think we're working really hard for it to give you guys music that's actually in your heart. Amazing. It's in your soul. But it takes a while. For instance, yesterday I was on this chair holding River, and we were playing games, and I fell backwards in the chair and fell on top of River, but I didn't crush him, but I could have, right? And so now River, who loves me dearly, recognized in that moment that I actually am not going to crush him if I have the opportunity. You know what I mean? And then, up to that moment, it was just a theory he had. But at that moment, there was a reality of it. Was that I'm going to save him, and I think that takes time. That kind of heart to heart trust takes time.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hitting your non-Ticketmaster venues. Is that a constant decision? Are we playing non-Ticketmaster venues? There's been no conversation about that. I don't know.
That's a tricky thing to navigate.
It just seems to me like every venue is Ticketmaster. Like I would never ask, "Is this a Ticketmaster venue?" Because they'd be like, "Yes, it is." You know, so it's just like, what are you gonna do? Dub Wisely, how psyched are you with how everything is sounding right now? The summer and fall was outstanding. Oh, thank you, Dub Wisely.
Nice, Dub Wisely.
Thank you. I think, we work really hard on making it better. So I think 2023 is going to be better. But yeah, we did catch a little fire in 2022 and start playing really well. Everybody in the band's really dedicated to improving themselves. It's really great to see. Everybody's got their own little practice routine that you see people go in and out of on a show day and when they're here and there. And I think that kind of like day-to-day improvement stuff adds up when you're a musician because it's a very physical job. You practice your cloud chord. How often do you practice cloud chord?
My live set?
Yeah. But not in front of people. Like how often do you do cloud chord with no one else?
Like if I'm going out for a weekend, I will run the entire set bare minimum twice all the way through.
No way.
Maybe even more. And I'll do like sectionals too, where I shed part of the set.
Really?
If there's like a new tune that has a tricky transition or something. But because for me, it's just about like I want to be comfortable up there.
Mm-hmm.
To where I can improvise and have fun and not just be like thinking about what the next thing I got to do is.
You don't like to panic on stage.
I hate to panic. That's actually why I don't smoke weed before I play.
It's
the only time in life when I don't smoke weed is before I go on stage.
Yeah.
Because I got too much shit to think about.
It's true. It's true. It is so hard to play 50 rotating sets per year minimum,
right?
Or 100 sets per year minimum, where you're in front of that people, tons of people, and you have to sing, play guitar, remember the chords, remember the words, and you don't really know the song until 2 days before, or sometimes even right before.
Remember the sound that you have for
it. Yeah, what sounds you have, how you get into this section, how you get out of this section. There's so much to remember, and it's really crazy that it takes a lot of different kinds of work. I found that in 2022, I spent a lot of time on guitar, just like getting my do-do-do-do-do-dos to be even and well spaced and good timing. And I think I might do similar things for 2023. All right, what else we got? Dynamite, were you as shocked as we were when the house lights went out and the power cut on Freeze Hartford Night One? That was like one of the better Freeze jams we've ever been in. And we are like, that jam is really coming, it's developing in a really cool way into like a cool moment. And we were like right there, and then the power shut out. So no, I wasn't surprised. Shit happens. Are there any specific songs you would like to warm up with? I like to warm up with a set of like the Middle of Shimmy, Middle of House Dog, Overture, Braxis, like all the do parts. Richard Nasty, I love the Biscuits go hard every show, while other bands tend to play for a safer show. Do they? I don't know what that means. Do you ever worry a set list is going to be too difficult or involved? Yes, all the time. All the time. I'm always taking set lists and trying to make them easier because they're always too hard. DH, any special musical guests for New Year's? Yes, but I don't know offhand. I should know, but I don't. Sorry. John Plex, favorite venue to play. I don't know. Yeah, they're all great. They're all great. There's a lot of good ones.
It's
all
more
right.
about the show than the venue.
Yeah, it's more about
like how you guys play, what the vibe is.
Yeah, and like if the backstage is nice, sometimes that helps. Like I like a show where the backstage is not like a toilet on a piece of concrete with a staircase that goes nowhere, like a door that's open with like a room full of boxes from 1937 and a skeleton.
Well, the Eastern in Atlanta is beautiful.
The Eastern in Atlanta is beautiful.
Beautiful. But then, like, on the contrary, there's a venue in Dallas, in Deep Ellum, historic venue called Tease. There was like a famous Nirvana show from there. Like, absolutely classic. The people who have played there, there is no bathroom in the green room. You have to go into the crowd to take your pre-show bathroom break or whatever.
We're just too famous for that. Fuck. What is Suntown One says? Whatever happened to Clocks? Clocks is in the list of 2019 songs, which I just feel like rewriting all of them. Honestly, I feel like I had a bunch of great musical ideas, but the songs are they just like didn't stick in the show for some reason. I don't know why. Too much stuff. I don't know. We're bringing them all back. I'm gonna add lyric. I'm gonna change them all and bring them all back. All right. Well, look at that Instagram. We left Instagram on the whole time. Look at that. What happened to Mirrors? I don't know. We played it the other day. What's your go-to track currently? What's the worst fashion decision you ever made? I don't want to answer that question. There's an answer to that question.
I think rolled up jeans in middle school was a bad one. Everybody used to roll up their jeans, the bottom of their jeans.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a decent look now, though.
Sure. If you're in an indie rock band.
Yeah, if you're in an
Goose could pull that off.
Goose could definitely pull that off. I think they do that, don't they? Doesn't Peter do that?
Maybe.
Oh,
is it here the bassist?
He's a piano player. I think.
Oh, okay. Because the bassist rocks like total 80s look.
Yeah, they should. They should rock the 80s look. All these bands need to go back to the 80s and rock that look. It's called Rockin' the Cuff. Thanks, Derek, for helping to make the greatest band great again. Thank you, Derek.
My pleasure.
It's true. We can't do it without Derek. We need Derek. Pretty sure you guys were smoking at the Amsterdam concerts. No, it wasn't us. What's your favorite Nug Huffer story? I'm not in the crowd. I don't know. I don't know. What is your favorite Nug Huffer story? That's what really matters.
Right.
B4L, keep making music. All right, we're done. We're good. Are we done?
I think so. We got some songs to finish up.
We got to work. We got to go in the studio. We can't hang out with you guys all day, but this has been really fun.
Should we give them a quick tease of like Shocked chorus?
Yeah, go for it. Play Shocked. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Love you. See you, babes.